Pig and Whistle Tales from Azeroth. As always here at the Pig and Whistle Inn in Stormwind, I go for a variety of subjects with regards to World of Warcraft. So grab a bottle or a pint, sit back and enjoy. This episode we'll be going over PvP, and there's a lot of things that I want to discuss. Stuff to do with dampening, CC, hybrid classes, anything and everything to do with PvP. But as always, we will get into the weekly news first. We have Strunrun, Zakali Elders, and Aerostar as your weekly world bosses. They're located in Onaran Plains, Zaralak Caverns, that's the one, and Emerald Dream. The Dragonflight Dungeons are your bonus event for the week. What this means is you get an extra piece of gear from completing a Dragonflight dungeon, so definitely make sure that you're doing this. If you're doing Mythic Pluses, you can definitely gear up some characters this way a lot more efficiently. Deep 6 is your brawl for the week. Essentially what this is a 6v6, and this is Deepwing Gorge, and essentially you're looking to dunk the orbs into the enemy's base, I believe. Wait, that's not Temple of Hot Moga. No, this is... No, wait, this is just a normal sort of battlegrounds, but it is 6v6 format, so your actions matter a little bit more. I got them confused with something else there. Storming, Raging, and Tyrannical are your mythic affixes for the week. Storming, you simply spawn little vortexes, and you want to move away from these. It will not be good if you get hit by them. They just knock you up, do a little bit of damage, but it means that downtime on your DPS, so that's always the downside. Raging, when a mob gets below 30%, it will do increased damage. Please soothe this, CC it, kill it quickly, and tanks kite this. Your healers will be getting healer rage if you do tank these adds without using a defensive cooldown anyway. And Tyrannical, the bosses and the mobs that they summon have increased health and damage for this week, so bring a talent build that can accommodate to that. So, first things first, I don't know where to start, but what I will start off with is a example. So, I'm doing my battlegrounds, no, not battlegrounds, I'm doing my arenas with the people that I play with, my little arena team, and essentially, I'm against a warrior and a DK, okay? We are Holy Paladin, Arcane Mage, Boomkin, and we are against a Resto Shaman, Warrior, and a DK, a Death Knight. Now, I'm the only hybrid class in this arena. Now, what does that mean? That means that I am a hybrid DPS that can off-heal if need be. Now, this game goes on for about about 10 minutes this game goes on, and this is on Tolvaron Arena. This is a big map against a melee cleave. You're against double caster. You're thinking, okay, double caster wins. We do win this game, but the melees didn't give a shit about where they were playing. They were just playing out in the open in the very far corner of Tolvaron, so their healer was dragged out. This meant that we could get more CC on them and stuff like that. And our main target was the Death Knight, because warriors are quite tanky, as we know. They are passively quite tanky. So our idea was to kill the Death Knight. As we're, finishing up the arena, we finish the Death Knight, we win the arena, and we go over details and have a look at everything. Now, as a hybrid class, you expect me to be, third on healing in details. You have the 2 healers on each team, and then you have probably me, right? And then, you've got other bits and bobs. No, I'm not the third. The warrior is third. A warrior, okay? Then the Death Knight, the other melee, and then the mage, who has not had a single bit of healing in their entire World of Warcraft lifespan. Yeah, think about that. Well, they've had Evocation Glyph, but that's about it. And then I'm last. I'm 6th on Healing Done. Now, Healing Done isn't everything, obviously. I'm passively tanky in Boomkin form. I have a lot of mobility, stuff like that. But here's the kicker. This warrior the healers healed about 15 mil, I think it was actually. It was around 15 odd. Now, the warrior healed for 7.11 million healing. Now, obviously, this isn't pure healing. This is absorb shields, damage reductions, all of that stuff. But 7.1, nearly half of what his healer did, and he wasn't even our main target, by the way. This is passive cleave that we have done to him. Okay, and he's healed / mitigated 7.1 million damage worth of it. Now, these are in the forms of ignore pain, pain and gain, impending victory, all the different things, and just passive leech. Now, these things are all passive abilities. The ignore pain essentially should just be a passive ability because you press it off cooldown, because it doesn't matter to most people. Now, the impending victory is the only thing that they have to consciously think about when it comes to their healing. Or I should say healing / damage mitigation, because it heals for a set percentage. You don't want to use it at 90%. You want to use it when you're low, and you want to use a Battlemaster's Trinket with it. This Battlemaster's Trinket, for those that don't know, increases your maximum health and gives you an extra 200k, essentially, something like that, health-wise. So you use that, and then, your Impending Victory just heals you up a little bit more than what it usually did before you use that Battlemaster's Trinket. But this warrior came out of this arena with 7.1 million healing. The Death Knight, 5 million healing, somewhere around that. My mage, 2 million, and I came out there with 1.6 million healing. So I have done nearly 6 million healing less than their warrior. A warrior that literally just hits things and passively heals himself. How does that make sense? Okay, so the way that they wanted to build hybrid classes is to make it so that, it mattered. Their mana pool mattered. Their heals mattered. Nothing matters about being a hybrid is if everything can heal. Every single arena, everything out heals me. And that's not even like while trying. Warlocks out heal me. They're not a hybrid. They're just tanky. They give themselves a 1 million shield on a 45-second cooldown. I know how tanky they are because I play a Warlock. That is my ult. Shadow Priests, again, they'll just passively out-heal me. Plus, they have talents that increase the healing done by their next flash of light by a certain amount, and that stacks up relatively quick, so it's actually a big, powerful heal. Whereas there's a similar talent for druids is at the bottom of the talent tree, whereas theirs is near the top. And what mine is, I have to do damage for it to accumulate healing in order for my heal to heal extra. So, and even then it's got a cap limit. It's got a 68k cap limit, something around that. And that's not a lot. That's like one execute, one mortal strike, one big hitting ability. So one global cooldown. So using a talent for that isn't necessarily worth it. That's the hilarious thing. And then you look at other hybrid classes who also heal. So resto or shamans, shadow priests. You have, I think that's it. No, monks even out heal me. Windwalker monks can out heal what my healing does. If I was to stand there getting trained by 2 melee DPS and press regrowth, honestly, I wouldn't even know that my health's going up. I feel like it would be going down. I feel like I would be killing myself by pressing regrowth because I'm just naturally not going to be tanky because I come out of Boomkin form, so my armor's gone. I'm just standing there casting, so they have maximum uptime. There's a lot of downsides to pressing my regrowth. And it's absolutely crazy to think that as a hybrid class, I get out-healed by everything in the game. Every non-hybrid class I get out-healed by. I do the same healing as a rogue who presses Crimson Vial off cooldown, probably. That's the crazy thing. And this includes my talents such as Renewal, Automatic Frenzy Regen, like the Matted Fur talent for my bark skin. This is incorporating all of this. But the problem with hybrids in WoW is that they don't hybrid. Some do, don't get me wrong. I think Shadow Priest and Resto Shaman are very good hybrid classes because they do have fat heals when you need to heal them. And the thing is, when I need to heal my healer that's getting trained, because they're on clone DRs or whatever, my heals will not be anywhere near as impressive as that of a Shadow Priest or a Resto or a Elemental Shaman healing up the healer, because my heals just aren't as impactful. They don't do as much. I have to pop a 5-minute cooldown for my heals to do the same as what a Elemental Shaman and a Shadow Priest flashlight does. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Even then, hybrids just do it all. Now, obviously, you can say, oh, but that's all on themselves and they're not helping out their team. Okay, so I will counteract that argument with, okay, what can I do to help out my team? I can CC and I can heal. That's fine. I'll take a warrior, for example. What a warrior can do is intimidating shout, obviously not as often as a cyclone, but what he can do as often is intervene. Now, intervene is a 30-second cooldown, something like that, and essentially for the next 3 seconds, you're taking the damage of that guy, your mate that you've intervened. That's pretty good. I would say that that's very, very good. You have a stun, you have multiple things, you have so much mobility and utility as well, that my mobility that I'm meant to be utilizing to get away from melee doesn't matter, because if I get away from them, okay, he's got a charge. That's fine. I can run away even more. Oh, he's got a second charge. That's fine. I still managed to get away. Nope, he's got a heroic leap that he can leap 40 yards, like to me. Oh, great. So in this time, I'm having to switch out a boomkin form as well, by the way, in order to, like, run, which means that I'm not getting any damage out. So it's a trade-off. I'm doing no damage to run and gain distance, but he's just running me down, losing no uptime whatsoever, which is crazy. Now, the Death Knight as well. If I try and run, he just grips me back. He just death grips me back. And he's got 2 of them. So I try and run, I get gripped. I try and run again, I get gripped. And then I try and run, the warrior runs on top of me and charges me. Try and run, warrior charges me again. Try and run, and he heroic leaps me. I've got to get through 5 different things in order to actually get away from both of them, like, immediately and quickly. And by that time, the Death Knight's probably got a death grip back, so it's just an endless rotation. So it's absolutely crazy, but hybrids are not hybriding. Best way to put that. This is also very... You can also see this in certain abilities. So you have the same sort of abilities in Vampiric Embrace, Astral Guidance, and Nature's Vigil. These are all spells that convert damage into healing. Now, Vampiric Embrace and Astral Guidance are 100 times better than Nature's Vigil. The reason being, Nature's Vigil, the damage that you output as a boomkin isn't nearly as consistent as these other 2 classes. So it converts, I don't know the exact number, but 10% of your damage into healing. So if you hit for 100k, you'll heal yourself for 10k, if that makes sense. Now, shamans get automatic procs. They can not cast a single time in an entire arena if they really wanted to. They just get procs, and this is instant cast lava bursts. Each lava burst does about 100 or 80 to 120k per lava burst. And these can be, like, thrown out on every single player, by the way, if you get an Ascendance proc. So you can hit, in one lava burst press, about 360k's worth on the high end of damage, yeah? If you've got, like, Flame Shock on 3 targets, you know, that kind of deal. That equates to, what is it, 36k? Something like that heals? Obviously, it's a bit more, but in terms of, like, the actual numbers of the game, but this is just for demonstration purposes. Now, I, as a boomkin, can throw out about 3 to 5 star surges back to back at best. This is with all cooldowns rolling and stuff like that. These star surges will hit for the same amount as a, like, Astral or a lava burst, I should say. So about 10k per, which isn't bad, but then it severely drops off. Nature's Vigil severely drops off because I don't have enough in the tank to keep pumping damage. Whereas Shamans are just sat there spamming their little lava burst keybind and doing a shit ton more healing through that one like ability alone, because they just have more consistent damage and therefore it generates into more and more like healing done, that kind of thing. Same with priests, they have a shit ton of damage, and it's absolutely insane just to think of the difference in terms of like the healing that it does. But again, even if I took every single healing ability that I have in my talent tree as a boomkin, I would still not out heal melee classes who are not hybrid classes. They shouldn't heal at all. Not at all. They shouldn't have that level of, I'm just going to stand out in the middle of the open against two casters, not give a shit and not die for 10 minutes. And the thing is, you might say, oh, it's because you aren't CCing the healer. We're CCing this fucking healer. Nothing dies because you've got to get through anti-magic zone, anti-magic shell, then intervene, then rallying cry, and then the Death Knight death strikes himself for about 200k per hit. So you've got to make sure that he is disarmed during your go as well. But I'm the only one with a disarm, and I'm running Thorns instead to try and slow and kite my attackers, put out some more pressure while they're putting out pressure. All of that sort of thing. So it's absolutely crazy, but Blizzard really need to do something about hybrids actually being a hybrid class and every other class not being this tanky in the game. Now, I won't mind sacrificing some tankiness for these hybrid classes for an actual, like, their heals mean something. Obviously, you can still go and you only, like, you don't need to do much, but essentially, like, give us something. Hybrid classes are worse at healing than non-hybrid classes, and it is so shit. It feels really, really bad. This leads into my second point, dampening. Now, dampening is becoming a massive, massive issue in Arena because a lot of the games, towards the end of expansions, this always happens though, people gravitate to the classes that are a lot more tankier in the Arena because your best offense is having a strong defense. Now, what this means is essentially the longer you last in an arena, the more like chance you have of winning because the like enemy healer goes so he runs out of mana, and then you just win for free essentially. So the better the class is at being a defensive class and having more defensive abilities, the more you'll see them towards the end of the expansion. What they should do, in my honest opinion, to compensate for the later patches, is roll out dampening faster. So season 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, you can probably keep dampening about what it is because the games are relatively fast. But when it gets to season 3 and 4, inflation is like hit quite heavily, and numbers are tough to like balance. So what I mean by inflation is health inflation, because your stats are just getting more and more, so your health is just going up and up and up. I think we started this expansion. How much health do I have like now? I have, I think, 1 mil, something like that. I have 1 mil health. I think we started the expansion at like 400k, I want to say, something around that. So, yeah, you can tell. And there's only been 2 seasons worth of arenas. So from season 1, I had about 400k, and now it's season 3, and I have over 1 million. So what does that tell you? It's pretty heavy on the inflation. But what dampening is essentially after 5 minutes in the arena, dampening starts to hit, and this means that healing is reduced in the arena by a certain percent. And every 5 seconds, this will tick up more and more. You can get to 100% dampening, although that's never happened. But I think in the latest AWC game, or in one of the latest AWC like tournaments, I think someone hit 82% dampening. I think it was the Liquid game. And this means that healing is reduced by 82%. How crazy is that? That is a long game. And yeah, it's absolutely crazy. So my idea for it is kind of just introduce the solo shuffle dampening. So for solo shuffle, dampening starts really early, it literally out of the gates, and essentially it just ramps up like a little bit quicker than the normal arena dampening. And I think that this should be what is the go-to when you get to seasons 3 and 4 of an expansion. It's that, or just keep the gear relatively the same. What I mean by this is keep the stats on the gear the same, but just change. I don't know. It's very tough because you want the idea of gearing your character and stuff like that, but at the same time, inflation is really bad because it makes numbers a bit tougher to tweak, essentially. Therefore, you have a balancing issue and stuff like that. But yeah, my idea for it would be introduce dampening earlier on in 3v3s. You don't have to go crazy with it like the solo shuffle one, but maybe just a little bit earlier. That way, it can. You don't want games to be lasting 15 minutes, like 10 to 15 minutes, because it can get very boring. You kind of just want to do some like 5-minute arenas. Okay, go next. Yeah, that kind of deal. You don't want to be hanging around in one arena and then 15 minutes later you lose it and you feel really shit. Whereas if it's a 5-minute arena, it's just, oh well, it happens, go next kind of deal. Like you can get 2 more games before that one game would have finished, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's my idea for it. There's one thing I need to talk about. Demon Hunters. Demon Hunters right now are a fucking menace. I've got some stats here that I'm going to read out for you, or at least one stat that like blows my mind, absolutely blows my mind. But what Demon Hunters are doing right now is everything. And what I mean by this is people can have CC immunities, sure. People can, classes can have mobility. That's their strong point. Classes can just be naturally tanky. Classes can have very good defensive cooldowns. Classes can have, very good damage output and constant uptime. Now, usually when you've got some of these things, you're going to be negative in something else. So Ret Paladins, for example, they have very good burst, but you've got to get to the player. They have decent CC with Hammer of Justice, one of the best stuns in the game, but you need to make sure that the healer is stunned, otherwise they'll just, dispel the Hammer of Justice. There's multiple trade-offs, and, it's one of them things. Plus, they're quite squishy. They're easy to kill, to be honest with you, if you catch them with their pants down. But Demon Hunters have all of this. They have incredible mobility. Their mobility is probably the best in the game, with 2 Fell Rushes, a Vengeful Retreat. This Vengeful Retreat also is a guaranteed CC immunity, because everyone's taking this PvP talent that makes them CC immune when they use Vengeful Retreat. And this talent also reduces the damage that they take by a significant amount. I think it's 70% or 90%. It's very significant. So it's a good cooldown. And this is on a 30-second odd cooldown, something around that line. So they are CC immune while they are backflipping in the air. And they can prolong this as well by jumping again. As long as they stay in the air for a duration, they are CC immune. They have incredibly good uptime and damage. Like, they cannot be kited at all. It's absolutely crazy. They just have everything. They have great defensives on a shorter cooldown. They have a complete immunity in Netherwalk. They have Blur, which is a 30% damage reduction, and you dodge everything that is in front of you. So if you are a melee trying to kill a Demon Hunter, you just won't, because it's a minute cooldown. And minute in an arena comes up very, very quickly. Like, you'll be very lucky to kill a Demon Hunter in that minute span, because you would have sent all of your damage and then he pressed Blur, and it's like, oh shit, well, I don't have my damage for 2 minutes, so he'll just have Blur back by that time, that kind of deal. Darkness, I think, is still one of the worst defensives in the game, but for its cooldown and the fact that it's kind of a lottery cooldown, because you can die through it. It is a 50-50 chance if you're going to die, and they're not great odds, to be honest, on a 3-minute cooldown. I think Darkness should get buffed in my honest opinion. But if you're going to buff darkness, you've got to nerf something of demon hunters because they're absolutely crazy right now. I'm seeing demon hunters in pretty much every form of World of Warcraft Arena. I watch AWC, there's demon hunters. I watch WoW Twitch streams, there's demon hunters in the arenas. I watch my own gameplay back. Oh look, there's 20 demon hunters that I'm facing within a arena session out of 30 games. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. And there's something that needs to be done about it. So here's the stats. There's two that I want to say. So in Solo Shuffle, I've had a look at the leaderboards. This is as of yesterday, by the way. I took it as of yesterday, this leaderboard. Now, Demon Hunters, let's start with everything else. Above 2.4k rating, yeah, you have 100 Death Knights. 100 Death Knights above 2.4k in Solo Shuffle. That's pretty good. You have 50 Arcane Mages, 50 Boomkins, 81 Warriors, 70 Retribution Paladins. So DK Warrior, Retribution Paladins, these are all melees. These are all decent melees performing at the moment. Same with Boomkin and Arcane Mage. They are very well-performing classes at the moment. And, this is what is above 2.4k. But the Death Knight is the only one to come close to be in 3 digits. And then you look at Demon Hunters. Okay, so let me read out these numbers again. Death Knight has 100, Arcane Mage has 50, Boomkin has 50, Warrior has 81, Retribution Paladin has 70. Can you guess how many Demon Hunters have? Above 2.4k, they have 217 players, like individual Demon Hunters, above that rating. Now, I'm no expert, but that is a lot more than what anyone else is showing there. That is over 4 times the amount of Boomkin and Arcane Mage. That is just under 3 times Retribution Paladin, just under 3 times Warrior, and double the amount of DKs. This is Unholy Death Knight, by the way. This wasn't Frost Death Knight. This was Unholy. And all of these classes that are alongside Demon Hunters here have been performing very well in this current Season 3 meta. All of them have. A Boomkin literally won AWC in NA last week. Okay? Excuse me. There was... What was it last time? No, there was a Windwalker monk that won last week, but rogues are primarily the other dominant spec up there. But yeah, this is absolutely crazy. I checked all the others, but I didn't write them down. I primarily went with ones that are very similar and that I see quite a lot. But nothing comes close to Demon Hunters. The amount of Demon Hunters above 200 or 2,400 rating. It's ludicrous to think. And the last stat I want to share with you is, you'd think that they're pretty easy to kill, right? They've got loads of mobility, they've got CC immunity, they've got great damage. Surely they're going to be quite squishy and easy to kill. They are... Okay, oh my god. So, first blood in arenas, yeah, in Solo Shuffle. This is Solo Shuffle between 2100 and 5k rating. The first blood stat means that if they are the first to die in an arena. Now, bear in mind that there is way more Demon Hunters in these games than anything else. So, at the top you have Feral Druids. There is 145 matches, as the pool in this bracket rating, and they are generally 70% of the first blood. Okay? You go down and, there's Boomkins with 500 games played at 68.7. Destro Warlocks, 737 games, and it's at 65.7%. You've got all of these games. Arms Warrior is the highest at the moment that I can see, with 1,087 games, but that's a 41.8% first blood. Demon Hunters, 1,631 games played. This is the pool, yeah? They have been the first blood 16.5% of the time, they are not the target because they are quite unkillable. That's a problem. That is a real problem. They are lower in terms of the kill, like the first blood, than Holy Paladins. And Holy Paladins are a healer. Healers don't get targeted a lot. It's rare for a healer to be first to die in a solo shuffle. Holy Paladins, obviously more so than most, because they are susceptible to being swapped to. But it is not a common thing. This shouldn't be a thing. Demon Hunters need to be taken care of in one way or the other. They need to have less mobility. They need to have less damage output. They need to have less uptime. They need to have worse cooldowns or something. One part of their kit needs to be nerfed. They can't have everything. And that is a problem. That is a massive problem that needs to be dealt with by Blizzard. And hopefully we'll see some class tuning soon. But who knows? Because Season 4 is just round the corner. And I'm fed up of playing against Demon Hunter Destrolock. I'm fed up with that bloody comp. Same with Demon Hunter Ellie Shaman. I just am fed up with these comps. They aren't fun to play against. They really aren't. Give me melee cleaves all day. Give me like double casters, like anything apart from Demon Hunter Ellie Sham, Demon Hunter anything. Like, it's just boring at this point, and we haven't had class tuning for a while. So hopefully there's something big in the works that Blizzard are preparing. But I'm going to leave it there. Thank you all very much for listening to this episode. Do check out all of the socials down below. Constant stuff happening over there. Once again, thank you all very much, and go with Valor, friend. Goodbye all.